Jason Rzucidlo reporting for AmericaJR.com. Welcome back to the second half of my interview with two members of the country music band, The Unforgiven.
And I gotta say, it's been healing for us to get together at this age and do something that we were actually doing, because a lot of what country music has become is actually that. It's actually a cross between country music and arena rock. That's really what it has become. And although, we didn't necessarily sound like Kenny Chesney or Tim McGraw, there were a lot of elements in that we were doing 5 or 6 years before that really happened in Nashville. So in a way, it's an interesting full circle thing that stuff that we were just kids putting shit together and seeing what it sounded like, that actually became what the sound of Nashville is in some way. So it's an interesting full circle thing now to be playing at a country festival with, the Kenny Chesneys and Tim McGraws of the world. And so it has come full circle in that respect. And, the other thing about The Unforgiven, for as heavy as a band we were, because we were very heavy, we played loud and mean, but we were also a band that could play with Willie Nelson and the next day play with, Motley Crue. I mean, that happened. So that mixture of elements is really what country music is today.
Okay. Now, can you give me a preview of what the fans can expect to see?
Go ahead, Jeff.
A lot of guitars, right? 3 guitar players, maybe a couple of special guests that have come up there with us. A lot of sing-along vocals, a lot of great songs, some danceable rock music, some great storytelling, and some great lyrics, and a good time.
Okay. Now, since you are reuniting, what are the chances of a new record?
It remains to be seen. We're solely focused on surviving this gig first, and if that goes well, we'll see what else can maybe happen. We have been writing new songs. We will be playing a few new songs, and so who knows? But I don't think anybody is looking beyond just this gig, which was put together. This reunion was put together by Paul Tollett, who's a great guy, a great fan, and has become a very successful, another Inland Empire guy made good. So we're focused on doing the very best job we can for Paul Tollett and the Stagecoach Festival. And if anything happens after that, we'll see. It'd be gravy, but no predictions at this point.
Because my next question was going to be, can we expect a new single in the future?
Well, we'd have to make a record in order to make a single. Honestly, there has been some interest from some of the country music labels and people, and that would definitely be our home if we were to, make this second round more of a permanent thing. And who knows, if somebody, decided to offer us a deal and make a record with us, we'd probably do it. But again, that's so cart before the horse for us, because we gotta pull this off first. And we haven't played together in 2 decades. So we've got a lot of cobwebs to slough off. That being said, we're also, in some ways, we're better musicians, and we're certainly, I would say, better people, and wiser, smarter people. That's what happens with age. So I think all of that is seeping into this reimagining of The Unforgiven as a country rock band, which of course it always was on some level. So I don't have any great summary of that thought other than we're gonna give this one as strong a go as we can, and then see what happens from there. You understand, for the Unforgiven, you know, we speak next big thing fluently. You know, we've been there. And so as flattering as it is for, you know, country music people to say, oh, we should, you know, let's just do records, let's get you on the road again and go out with big artists, as flattering as that is, whatever. You know, we've been there. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not something we would base any of our life or plans on.
Okay. Now, this question is for Steve. I understand you've been doing some writing and directing of TV shows. What are some of the ones you've been working on?
I just finished one that just premiered last night on NBC, the Weather Channel, a thing called Turbine Cowboys, which is about the men and women who work on wind turbines. I make my living as a reality TV showrunner, is what they call it, and that's the executive producer, generally speaking, the guy who writes and creates the shows. And I've been very, very successful. I'm blessed to have had 3 solid careers in this world. I had a career as a musician and a hit songwriter. I had a career as an A&R guy, and I've had, as the longest career of my life, has been writing and producing television and films. Some of the other stuff I've done recently is I had a hit show on Discovery called Swamp Brothers.
Okay.
I did a show for Discovery called Pitchman that starred Billy Mays. It did very well. Did a show recently for the History Channel called Apocalypse PA.
Okay.
And I just did a show for the Glenn Beck Network, of all things, called Independence USA. And I can't say what the next show I'm going to produce is because I'm under an NDA, but I'll be able to probably announce by the time of the gig what my next show that I'll be producing is.
Okay, finally, for both of you guys, what do you think of shows like American Idol and The Voice?
Well, you know, I'm not familiar with the shows too much here in America, but in Germany there's German versions of the shows, and I think they're a little bit misleading for young people to think that their goal is, I want to be a star. Right? It's not like I want to do my own thing. I want to make it my own way, and they think that you know, it's got a bit of this Kardashian image thing going on. Like, I want to be a star, and it's not like I want to be a good musician or a good writer or accomplish or any of this. But on the other hand, you know, power to the kids. You know, it gives them opportunity and it keeps them active, and yeah, why not? Who am I to say? Maybe I go do it myself someday.
What I think about it is, honestly, I'm a song guy. I don't care what genre the song is. I don't care who sings it, as long as they're a good singer. I don't care how they got their start, whether they were punk rockers like Jay and I, or they were, you know, plucked out of obscurity on a singing contest on TV. If I hear a good song, that's all I care about. So, for instance, you know, when I hear Kelly Clarkson deliver a great song, I don't care where she started. That shit works. That's fucking great. I love it. And on the countryside, you know, there have been some folks who've broken out of National Star and singing contest shows who I think are marvelous artists. And it goes all the way back to, I think Sawyer Brown broke off of Star Search. And I thought they were a terrific band. So, honestly, I couldn't care less. But I think where I really, so I would say I don't care less. I couldn't care less how somebody got to the point where they could deliver a good performance of a good song and get it to my ears. If the second that I hear a good song and a good performance, it's ear candy, it's brain candy, I start smiling. I don't care. What I do think is maybe wrong about the culture right now, and maybe these shows are indicative of that. I don't even know if that's the case. But I do think there is an emphasis on fame, being famous, sort of at any cost, without there being a driving... You know, it's like it used to be you got famous because you did something great. And now I think there's a certain thing with this generation of kids, if you will, where it's like you get famous, and then maybe you do something great. Or you don't. I know when Jay and I started out, and granted it was the punk rock movement, and nobody was getting record deals. It wasn't about that at all. We never thought we'd get a record deal. Our goal was to be able to put together a set songs that we wrote, play live, entertain our friends, and then maybe get some new friends because we entertained them as well. And I remember, like, for me, I'm sure it's the same for Jay, like, you know, the only sort of professional goal I had at first was maybe someday playing the Whiskey a Go-Go, you know, because that was a rock and roll legendary spot, or the Starwood or Santa Monica Civic. Like, you know, it wasn't, and by the time people that we knew in bands like the Go-Go's and, you know, Black Flag and X and stuff like that, once they started actually getting record deals, you know, the scene was kind of over in its own way. It was like, because of course money, the second money comes into art, it changes the art. It is what it is.
Can you mention the time and day you're going to be going on stage? Do you have that information?
Yeah, we're on the Palomino stage at 2 p.m. April 29th at Stagecoach.
Excellent. So thanks so much, and I look forward to your show.
Thank you.
Copyright 2012, AmericaJR.com, Los Angeles, California.